Alright, dudes, let's start this. I know this is uncomfortable, but we all remember, right? He was alive before the rules were even announced. He was gonna get medicine, but then he got a bit busy for some reason, never came back. And Mittens, seen him, dropped off literally the professor, so where does that leave it? Because either, from my theory, it has to be either the professor or me.
Okay, I could see that theory, but one, this dude was my best friend. He was my stay-at-home doctor when I was going through stuff. And my bodyguard here, I know these two for a long time. I wouldn't do nothing to harm them. I'm grateful for them. There's no way I could do this to one of my closest friends.
I can also attest to this. She would never do this, so I hope our word for now. But what else can we look at? What should we go next? Should we discuss the body?
That would make the most sense. According to the Monokuma file, the cause of death is unknown. But he has a stab wound in the back of the head, one in the chest, and an eye injury. It's possible the cause of death could have been bleeding out after being stabbed, but Mana wouldn't make it that easy if death was unknown. He probably died of something else.
I agree with that. But where does that leave us? So far, we have no clues, literally. All we have is the last known whereabouts. And that he was beginning in the gym. He left for the nurse's office to retrieve medicine. He was delayed. And basically no one's seen him again until Mittens and Professor were at the nurse's office. Unless someone snuck in between that time, I can't discount the theory. But what else? Hey Mono, I got a question about the BDA. What does that mean?
I'll ease your minds. I'll humor you since it's your first time. The BDA is an announcement that triggers after 3 innocent people discover the body. But also to make it interesting, it's sometimes 3 or more. But it's always 3, nevertheless. So say, for example, innocent killer. It triggers after the next 2 innocents come into the room, if that makes sense. So, but each case moving forward, if you somehow win, sometimes you'll have to figure out maybe 1 or 2 innocent triggers to make the case more interesting. I hope that answers your question. But you guys are a very entertaining bunch. Continue.
Since I should mention this before someone tries to turn this case around and lead us astray. So when examining the body, we noticed the 2 puncture wounds from the head and the chest. It looks like, according to it, that potentially this was a red herring. It looked like, according to the results, Marcus was already dead, but it was used to lead us astray. This is when I found this bloody kitchen knife in the gymnasium storage. But this is not what killed our dear friend Magnus, no. Whatever caused that eye injury was. But I noticed someone leaving the scene with a piece of evidence. Do you have something to say, Mr. Flyers?
Well, hold on now. I know this may sound suspicious, but I was also collecting evidence in the gymnasium and around here and there. And what I found was one of Rosie's old inventions when she was trying to be the ultimate inventor. Slash assassin, if we all recalled. So you mean Magnus's cause of death was one of those death bands? Interesting. But how would a death band get in here? Rosie destroyed them all.
I also agree. And plus, she wasn't the best at inventing.
And we've all seen that when we partnered up with her. We've exchanged talent day or with other people. Not to mention that Rosie was a sweet person and that when she was told that her weapon was dangerous, she discarded them. That means someone decided to keep the weapon.
But who would do a stupid thing like that? That would get stolen and would be used to kill Magnus. The question is, how did Magnus even get to the gym when he's supposed to be taking care of Professor in the nurse's office? Professor, you got anything to comment?
Indeed I do, my friends. Magnus was taking care of me, but then he received some type of note, and he was also retrieving my sleep medicine. And as I was getting sleepy, I didn't receive a blanket until later, and I just don't think I got it from Magnus. I think Magnus was dead, or he was gone to the gym at that time. That does make sense, but does anyone have any physical evidence that Magnus even received the note?
Say this, though. What is it, Meadow? Well, then, we were investigating Max's room since Mono allowed us to visit the deceased's room, and me and Trixofen found this. A note and a map leading to the gym. There was a discussion to be had after the motive announcement, but it looks like it was delayed because of Rosie. Remember, y'all, the announcement was supposed to happen the day Rosie broke one of the rules. So this was planned. Magnus was supposed to die, but because Rosie did that stunt, they gave Magnus an extra day. And the note was very interesting because it was from Mr. Flyers himself. I'm telling y'all, I'm being framed, dudes, and do that, it's not me. I couldn't even make it at the time. Once the announcement was over, I was hanging out with Chuck and Charlie. And even Mittens joined us a little bit later, but come on, believe me, it's not me.
Well, Bear's right. It couldn't have been him. I remember I was scouting the place, and by the time I noticed, he mentioned to forget one important detail. He did have a discussion with Magnus, but that was when they were walking across him in the hallway when he was heading towards the gym. I was scouting the area and I heard the conversation. As I was looking for places to escape, the conversation went like this. It was Chuck and Charlie and him just talking in the hallway heading towards one of their rooms as they planned to. But he stayed a little bit behind. That's when Mittens joined them and the conversation went. I found one of Rosie's inventions. Here, I know how much you meant to you, and I hope this can keep her memory alive for you. But be careful, it's dangerous. That's literally how the conversation went. And then they scared the way away. That's completely it. It can't be them because of the time difference. If it was, that bear would have to run that fast to pretty much make it there on time and back to the rooms. Because I was scouting the areas near their room, and I would have seen him.
Okay, now we're jumping the gun. Let's read this Monokuma file. Oh, never mind. Mono, who are the 3 people that are innocent on the body discovery announcement? Just to be clear, so there ain't no confusion. Jeez, this trial stuff is hard.
Hey, fine. I'll help you limit out your pool of suspects. The people that were innocent, as in my file states, Grumpy, Mattel, and Patrick discovered Magnus's body. Those 3 are innocent. Carry on with your trial. Ooh, I need to get snacks next time. So, if Mattel, Grumpy, and Patrick were safe, oh my god. Carry the 1, carry the 2. That leaves only 13 people if I'm precise. Sorry, I'm bad with math. Hey, Meadow, can I borrow that map?
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you. I think we'll be able to list down the number of suspects if we can determine where everyone was. So let's hear everyone's alibis. Where was everyone during the time of the murder?
Well, for me, I was literally in the female's dormitory.
I was in the trial room. Don't ask, I'll talk about it later. I was in the male's dormitory.
I was in the kitchen.
I was in the men's bathroom.
I was at the nurse's office for a bit, and then literally, I went to the common area.
I was in my room.
I was passed out in the nurse's office.
Mel's dormitory. Trial room. Kitchen.
Scouting the area from the hallway of the female's dormitory to common room. Male's dormitory. I was leaving the illusion observatory and heading to the gym.
And I was also in the dormitory as well.
All right, Chuck, we said where we were. What was the point of this? Now we know where everyone was during the murder, and the murder happened in the gym, but this doesn't narrow down the list of suspects.
Mamma mia. Actually, it does.
And that's by
The bathroom. Remember, the case happened in the gym, and the only way that that person with the alibi at the bathroom would have to be female. But the person's alibi was male who was in the bathroom. And who was in the bathroom when the innocent people were coming around to the gym to see the commotion after Patrick screamed? Clearly, if you were in the bathroom, Charlie, clearly you would have heard something. We've all used the bathrooms. None of them are soundproof. None whatsoever. So with all the commotion going along, you could have potentially been one of the innocent people that triggered the By Discovery announcement. But for some reason you did it. Unless you knew about the By Discovery rules and that it wouldn't trigger without 2 or more people there with you. Isn't that right? You're dead wrong, man. It's not me. I also have an alibi.
Truly straightforward, black and white as this. Did Charlie really just got to me for a straight tight alibi? I don't know. He seemed pretty convincing and concerned.
Wait, let's not jump the gun just yet, Gaul. Let's keep discussing this. There might be more to the story. He may be just giving to us straight, and he may have seen someone else come into the bathroom. It could be true. Oh my God, Grumpy, stop trying to cover for him. We can vote him out and go. It's not that simple. We have to look at all the possibilities because we only get one guess, and majority is valid and rule here. He does have a point. If the majority vote incorrectly, we're all at risk.
Makes sense. I may want to add some more evidence to my testimony about being in the kitchen with Meadow.
And your evidence?
There was literally 3 people we seen while drinking our tea after the whole motives fiasco. There was literally Magnus, Chuck, and Phil. And for some reason, it all points back to Phil. I wonder why.
The last time. It is not me, dudes and dudettes. I'm innocent.
Okay, but what about these notes? Because when we were in the elevator, there was a lot more to these notes, right, Meadow?
Yes, according to this, there were 2 notes. One for the observatory and one for the gym. And what about that weird setting you were talking about in the elevator, Patrick?
Oh yes, it was a scenario made. It was very interesting. They wanted to take the form of Rosie. I don't know why. What it was like in like a desperate plea type of thing, which I found very quite disturbing. So what do we know? So basically, whoever this killer was got a fake form from the Illusion Observatory to look like Rosie for a desperate plea to meet Magnus in the gym, but also observatory.
That does make sense. So let's piece together what we have so far. It appears like this killer had an extra 24 hours in a day to get this said and done when they were planning to escape. So it looks like someone might have knew the rules a little bit earlier than the rest of us.
And they had enough time to set these notes up, and they had to reschedule. And after the professor passed out, they went to the nurse's office to see what the Illusion Observatory was all about. And with what they heard from it, I'm pretty sure they didn't know what it was at the time. I felt compelled to meet Rosie in the gym. That's why Magnus even went there to begin with.
Then, when he was in the gym thinking he was talking to Rosie, he got shot in the eye with the death beam. And once he died, they stabbed him additionally, because with the beam, there would not be any severe wounds.
And then they stabbed them in the head, of the back of the head, of course. But Jess ran to the men's washroom, washed the knife, came back, and threw it in the closet. So we know how they did it, but we need more. Where do we go to now?
It's just a theory, but you ladies, Squid, you said that Magnus, a little bit after the whole passing out fiasco with the professor, came to go get something in the kitchen, correctly? That is right. And that wouldn't happen to be. I'm saying, what if Professor took the knife? And he also had the death ban given by Phil, I think was used against him. Whatever he was told, I think he was nervous and scared. What was his mood like, Meadow? If I can ask from your perspective? Well, he seemed a bit anxious, saying he was getting something to drink, but wasn't rummaged to the cupboard at first. He was going through the utensil drawer, but also potentially a knife. He was very scared. So, I think we all know where this is going. Neither Chuck nor Phil got the weapons. Well, he retrieved one of the weapons from Phil as a sentimental value of remembering a dear old friend. If that's correctly, that's where it all went down. Whoever took the form of Rosie used this to get some supplies and used them against him. That's what happened. But where do we go from here?
That's a good question. Now that we know with this theory, it does add up. And Patrick was in the illusion observatory. The only way we can discover this is the color. Quick question, what do you mean the color?
Exactly what it was. Back then in college, this little villa, remember? This was our little vacation spot year after year. Well, for the past 2 years when we were at the college and at the high school of Hope's Peak College and High School Academy, whatever you want to call it. Most of us here are friends and acquaintances, and we would all travel here for a relaxing time. I'm starting to kind of remember. This is the Hope Academy and High School Vacation Villa. And that illusion observatory was invented by Mono. Hey Mono,
And what would your question be, Squid?
Well, I'd like to check into the history of the illusion observatory around the time we all came here. In the past 2 days, who's been in it?
Why, of course, I'd be happy to share that with you. Literally only, I would say, let's look at the database, shall we? Only 5 people went to the illusion observatory. Magnus, Rosie, surprisingly Chuck, and Mario and Patrick. Those are the 5 people that have been in the illusion observatory. Is that all? Yes. Well, then carry on your trial.
Looks like we found our potential 3 suspects. Clearly, it can't be Magnus or Rosie. Magnus was under the influence of what he saw. Rosie died the day on the 2 days. Patrick is one of the triggers of the body discovery announcement. Unless he's an accomplice, which I doubt, since he was pretty shocked when it all happened. That only leaves Chuck and Mario. So, which one of them did it? We have a 50-50 shot.
Obviously, it's not me.
I also have to say it's not me.
We are not.
I repeat, are the killers.
Can we really take their word for it? They're the only ones either alive or not protected by the BDA. This is tough. Well then, I don't know. Could they want to be the killers?
It's possible that they're not.
But it has to be the truth that one of them is the killer.
I'm convinced.
I'm also convinced.
I'm sticking with it.
So, what do we do? Split the vote? I'm pretty sure with 15 of us left, and minus those votes, we can do 7-6 if we want to cross our fingers and hope for the best, and they basically vote each other.
We can't do that. We have to be sure. Oh, whoa. Are we ready to vote right now? I could start the vote. No. Darn it. Well, continue your little discussion. I'm getting bored.
Pretty sure it's one of them, but who? Hey, dude, let me refresh your logic. Huh?
Where are we? Charlie? Yeah, dude, I'm here to help. With what? Remember my testimony when I was in the bathroom. We've all been close as friends, acquaintances one time and another in this high school.
and graduates. Come on now, think. Think past our days in high school. Between those two, one of them had an injury. And what was my statement? Your statement. You said when you were in the bathroom, you seen someone ran and turned the sink on in the shower, correct? Yes. And one of them had an injury, or they had to use something else to get by. I think I know. You're the best, dude. No problem. I know who the killer is.
Wait, you do?
Tell us, dude. Please don't tell me it's me, dude.
Come on. Yeah, what is it?
Well then, the killer? Well, I'm just gonna say it. The killer is literally Mario.
Hold on. And why is it not? Jeez, why is it not Duck? It has to be him.
I was thinking that too. Until literally Charlie's testimony changed my mind. We've all been friends, acquaintances in this college for a long time. We know each other by heart almost. And you forgot one thing to give you away. Charlie, would you mind repeating your testimony about the bathroom? Of course. I was using the bathroom, someone ran in, turned on the sink, probably the washing knife, and washed their body. Yeah, what about it? But remember, there was one additional rule today. It was laundry day, remember? Yes, laundry day, meaning that, oh my God, one of them should be wet right now because the air and the extra towels were gone. So whatever they had, that's what I mean. Mario, would you mind shaking your hair?
Yeah, Mario. Yeah, Mario.
What? What does me shaking my hair have to do with anything?
Oh, come on. If you're innocent, we'll ask Chuck to shake first.
Okay. See? I'm dry.
Okay, Mario, your turn. If somehow you're dry, because the water here is different. So, if your hair is not dry...
Okay, fine.
Happy?
Well. You gotta cope, guys. Mono cast the votes. But I got a question for you. Why'd you do it to my good friend Magnus? He did nothing to you. What's the deal with that, hey? Jeez. You sick monster.
What do you mean? Yes, my hair's wet. That was a coincidence. We all knew the water was gonna be acting up today. So, I took a shower. Come on, it's not me. It's me, Mario. Don't do this. Come on now, come on. It has to be Chuck or someone else. The two literally got caught, and he won't give up.
Oh my God, dude. Come on. Why are you making this harder on everybody? We look at the evidence. We kind of can put together how you did it.
Seriously, this is just embarrassing. Admit defeat, dude.
Yeah, just surrender. Oh my God, can we just vote? I agree.
Come on, guys. There has to be more to talk about. Come on. Sure, I was in the observatory, of course, but it wasn't me. I don't even know how to operate it. I was just curious. Come on now, please. You have to believe me. It could be someone else. Come on.
Say it isn't you. Let's settle this once and for all on who we think did this case. We got all the evidence. I feel like we got all the facts. Everyone's whereabouts. And literally Mono's testimony on who was in the Illusion Observatory and etc. I think we should wrap this up. Grumpy, you think you can do that?
Why me?
Well, you were a leader, of course.
Fine. Alright, I'm gonna show what happened in this case. Mario, just correct me if I'm wrong. And if so, we'll have a discussion of rebuttal.
This started after the murder of Rosie. Well, Rule Breaker Rosie, after the execution. I don't know how, but in theory, I think this individual's monopad worked and was functioning properly, and they were able to read the rules on time. With that in hand, they decided to write a note to Magnus, asking to meet up. What Max didn't know is that the note was forged in Rosie's signature, making it look like Rosie survived. And Magnus, knowing how close he was, fell for it and was played like a fiddle and was willing to meet her at the Illusion Observatory. At the Illusion Observatory, where culprit was in the illusion form talking to Magnus. And characteristics only he could notice as Rosie, thinking she survived. They had a short conversation I don't know about, but it ended up towards the gym, where that's where our culprit would soon destroy Magnus. While Meadow and Squid were enjoying their tea, hearing the ruckus of 3 people going in and out, they kind of didn't see Magnus grabbing for kitchen scissors and the knife that would be used in this investigation, leaving the kitchen to head towards the gym to meet up and discuss plans about whatever to the fake Rosie. In the gym, Magnus was talking to the fake Rosie, and that's when it happened. The illusion failed. And the killer in the corner. Magnus tried to defend himself, but it was too late. They released the beam, which literally killed him instantly. The killer got the scissors from the kitchen that Magnus had and stabbed him in the back of the head and the chest, leaving him. But because he was a bit bloody and a bit, ran towards the men's room. And that's how we get Shucks and, hey, what's going on? Where's the fire? Because he didn't hear the announcement at first. After it happened, he was just noticing who rushed in, but couldn't get a good look at it. Behind, impersonating Rosie and stabbing and death beaming Magnus, the ultimate doctor, was indeed Mario, the ultimate plumber. Do you have anything to say for yourself?